what I'm talking about is find people who are as ambitious as you are. People who have something that they are living for. Right? You find those kind of people. And frankly speaking, if you can't find them, it's better you stay alone and lonely. And I'll tell you why. I remember in this episode, I'm going to share with you some great advice for the young, awesome people of Africa. So, this is the kind of advice that I would have wanted to have been exposed to when I was younger, when I was in my teenage years, when I was in my early 20s, when I was even in my mid 20s, right? And I think this is what is going to be a roadmap that will help revolutionize your life. Awesome. Let's jump on straight in. So I have 4 points to share with you. The first thing is, if you're a young person in Africa, it's very tempting to look around you and sometimes be in despair or have no hope and that kind of thing. Sometimes the environment itself that you find yourself in, the news that you see on the TV and everything can be very depressing, but you can't afford to tune in into that. So the very first thought that I would want you to think about, or the first thing I want you to consider is, number one, dream big. Dream so huge that actually your dreams are actually going to scare you, because dreaming big is free. Nobody can arrest you for dreaming big. Dream massively. Massively. Dream, have ambitious goals. Ambitious, and this is the mark of a big goal or a big dream. A big dream is such that you yourself, your immediate network, your immediate net worth, cannot bring that dream to fruition. If your dream is that way, then you're actually starting to dream big. The dream must be way bigger than you, way bigger than your mindset, way bigger than your resources, way bigger than anything that you can afford or come up with right now. Your dream, actually, you have to look at your dream, and your dream must scare you. I remember I attended a program that one of my mentors organized, Grant Cardone, organized a 10X conference. And I learned this thing from there, that I needed to write my dreams every day. So I write my dream first thing in the morning, and I write my dreams last thing before I go to bed. And my dream, initially I thought I had a big dream until I came out of that conference, and I realized that, wow, I had been setting a very low achievable dream for myself. So when I came, my mind was just blown. So I 10 times my goal, and I started writing them down. I write them every day. The first time I started writing, I just felt scared. I wrote them down. I said, okay, wow. Like, God help me to be able to, is this even possible? Is this even real? Am I making a fool out of myself? But I realized that the more I started to visualize it, the more I started to put it down, the more real it started becoming. Then I started seeing doors. I started seeing doors and windows and openings that would help me take maybe a step or 2 or 3 steps into the dream, right? And things started becoming clearer and clearer and clearer. I still do that today. And even when I'm going through maybe a tough time in the day, maybe I hear some bad news or something like that, instead of just writing the dream first thing in the morning and last thing at night, I would write it in the daytime as well. When life presses me hard, that I also push back. So I will write it again, so that when I see it and I visualize it in my notepad, say, wow, man, there's a bigger thing here. So I don't need to bother too much about the temporary blip on the road. There's a bigger goal. There's a bigger goal that is bigger than me, that is bigger than my family, that is bigger than even possibly the country that I live in, or the people that I surround myself with. Is huge. Therefore, I can't afford to let little things worry me down. That's your number one objective. Dream big. Ambitious goals. Number 2, I can't emphasize this enough, Because if you don't get number 2 right, you can dream as big as you want and nothing will happen. Number 2, associate yourself with the right people. It's always a big thing for young people to fall into the loop of bad influence, peer pressure, and that kind of thing. Your job is, after you've been able to come up with a big, ambitious goal for yourself, find people who are going where you are going. Find people who ideally speak the type of language that you're speaking, not in literal terms like, okay, find people who speak English language or Yoruba or Hausa or whatever your local dialect may be. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is find people who are as ambitious as you are. People who have something that they are living for. Right? You find those kind of people. And frankly speaking, if you can't find them, it's better you stay alone and lonely. And I'll tell you why. I remember a couple of years back when I was working at MedAssets in Dallas, Texas. I remember there was one time I went into my boss's office. He was the vice president of our unit, and I reported to him directly. So I went to him we're doing a contract, and I needed him to review sections of the contract for me. So I went to his office, as is customary for all of us to do. So when I went in there, I could see that he was not very happy. I mean, he was visibly upset. You could see that, which is not very typical of him. He's a very nice man, awesome boss to work for. So I kind of, chimed in, hey, boss, you don't really look your usual self today. Is there anything wrong? Are you not feeling well? That kind of thing. He said, look, it's my daughter. Yeah, I said, what about that? He says, I received a notification or a notice from her school that something happened in their school or in her dormitory. I can't really remember the exact details, but it was something had happened in her daughter's dormitory, and the school, because of that, the school had issued a final notice or final warning that she was going to be expelled the next time anything like that happens. And it's like his demeanor was like, man, my daughter is awesome. She's a good girl. She's awesome. I've never been proud of her. I mean, I've never been proud of her. She's amazing. She's intelligent. She's God-fearing. She's, the list went on and on and on and on. So he was like amazed as to what had happened, because here was he investing a lot of money to send her daughter to college, one of the best universities in the US, that the lady was going. The program was awesome. The program she was doing was an amazing program. So he couldn't put a finger as to why the daughter has gotten herself involved in that kind of a mess. So I remember standing there, and a thought just bolted through my brain, actually, and I just muttered it out. That, my boss said the only way I could think of is probably her dorm mates who have come from different backgrounds with different values that are starting to have an influence on her. And I said, wow, that actually confirms what I had in mind. He said, what do you have in mind? I said, boss, you have to talk to your daughter. He said, I've talked to her. I've screamed at her. It's okay. This time you're not going to scream at her, but you're going to tell her what real life situation or scenarios is when it comes to associations and friendships. So I just there and then remembered a proverb, right? A biblical proverb. And so I just blurted out in them that, look, Jim, call your daughter and tell her about this proverb. Perchance, that's the only thing she may listen to. He said, okay, what is it? I said, look, this has worked for me. It says, the companion of the wise shall be wise, and the companion of the fool shall be destroyed. So I said, look, Jim, this is how you package it and tell her. If you associate with wise people, the upside is that you are going to be wise. But if you associate with foolish people, people with no ambition, people who just going nowhere, the downside is not that you're going to be foolish. That would have been what do you call it? That would have been actually a mini advantage. Actually, at least you know your friends are foolish, so just be foolish. That's it. But the downside is worse than that. It says if you associate with them, you will be destroyed. It didn't say if you associate with bad people, you will be bad. It says you will be destroyed. Sometimes it may end up in your death, early death. Sometimes it may end up you being an addict. Sometimes it may end up you being something that there are not enough words to actually describe. So the risk of you aligning with people who are going nowhere to you and your destiny is kind of high. So you can't afford to move with people who are not going where you're going. There's another proverb that says that iron sharpens iron. So if I'm coming close to you and you are not iron like I am, none of us will be sharpened. If I'm iron and you are wood, guess what's going to happen? After a few associations here and there, my sharp iron is going to be blunt. Right? And life is going to be hard because whenever iron is blunt, it takes much effort to actually fall a tree. Right? So the key to life, apart from getting certain great goals, awesome objectives, and big dreams, is watch your association. I've heard it somewhere. I don't know who said it, that you are the average of the 5 closest people that you have to you. Right? So if the 5 closest friends to you, they are a piece of work, very soon you're going to become a piece of work. But if the 5 closest people to you are awesome people, it's like a wave. They are just going to pick you up like that. Now, the third point is you're going to have to pay the price. Pay the price, my friend. Pay the price. Many people do not want to pay the price. They want the easy way out. Easy money, easy this, easy that, shortcut. Look, nothing sustainable in life comes easy. There's nothing. I've heard it many times again. I think I heard the owner of Dallas Mavericks, billionaire, Mark Cuban, say it a couple of times. Nothing of great value comes easy. If somebody invites you to join a scheme, join something that is shortcut, look, man, it's just a fluke, man. It's a smoke screen. It's not going to work. If it works, it's not going to last. If it works and lasts, it's not going to be fulfilling. Right? So you're going to have to pay the price. Pay the price means there are going to be some parties, birthday parties and friends gatherings that you're going to exclude yourself. Paying the price means that there are going to be some soccer games or football games, English Premiership, and a bunch of other sporting activities that you're going to miss because you are working on your big dream, your big goal. Right? It's going to be that there are going to be a couple of Saturdays and Sunday afternoons that you're going to be sitting and working when your friends are playing and chilling. I mean, as they call it. To them, chilling means they're enjoying themselves. In all fairness and in due respect, if you can block out the time that traditionally your friends, your age mates, your colleagues typically relax, and you carve that time out as a time that you work. You are putting in not the traditional 8 hours, but you are studying, you are pushing. Because you are young and you are healthy, you are pushing 15, 16 hours every day, hitting it. Give yourself 5 minutes, 5 years. I wish it was 5 minutes. But give yourself 5 years. You will be surprised at the things that you could do. So for instance, let's say you want to be let's say you're a programmer. You want to come up with an app that will save the world or whatever it is, and you're a young person. and you rely on just what you're being taught in school, that will not be enough. But if you sit down and say, look, my Saturdays, after I finish what I need to do at home and everything, and I just block out some 5-6 hours, and I just immerse myself in latest books, latest technology, latest courses, and I sit there, maybe a course that runs, let's say 60-80 hours, and I sit there and I chunk them up, right? 5 hours, I'm studying it, and I'm studying, and I'm studying, and I finish that, and I practice. I bring that, and I practice, and I practice. If you did that consistently every Saturday, every Sunday after church, or after whatever social program that you attend, and you sit down and you hit it like that, small chunks of time, even if it's just 2 hours that you can do, you do that. Think about it. 5 years time, you will be super mastery. You'll be way above your colleagues. I mean, your level will be completely different. Right? So learn to pay the price. Stop all this chilling and enjoyment. I'm not saying don't have fun. Yes, have fun, but have perspective. Have objective. Right? Have fun. But let it be measured. Because if you work hard now, you're going to have fun, much, much more fun later. With your family and things where you don't have to struggle, when you don't have to scratch your head when you need to pay your child's school fees, or you need to, that is more fun, man. That is awesome. When you have fun, when you have kids around, you're able to really provide for them. Not only that, you are a responsible member of society. You are contributing. You are blessing people with your resources. That is fun, right? Then the next piece of it. The next set, that's the last advice in this episode, is going to be don't waste resources. Do not waste resources. Resources in terms of money, in terms of time, especially, do not waste them. Time is so important because when you utilize time, you never get it back. The only thing that is common to mankind on earth, to both rich people and poor people, right, to both powerful people and servants, is time. That is the currency nobody has more than anybody, and nobody has less than anybody. You wake up in the morning, you are allotted 24 hours. What you get out of it is practically purely based on how you utilize your time. So don't use your time for frivolous things. Package your time wisely. I wish I knew this when I was a teenager, man. I can't emphasize this enough. I wish somebody else. I wish I had an uncle who could have sat me down to tell me give me some of these nuggets. I call them golden nuggets. But hey, I'm excited to share this. In hindsight, time is a great asset you can't afford to waste. Don't waste time. 1 year can just pass by like that in a blink of an eye. 2 years, 5 years, oh man, it just runs by so fast. So you're going to use that. Number 2, resources. You may not be the richest person in town, but all of us at certain points in time, we get access to resources. Maybe you did some small project here and there, or maybe you were lucky, a rich uncle blessed you one day, or you're lucky to have some very generous parents that they give you resources, or whatever thing that you do that you get some kind of money coming in. Don't use that money to do, bling bling and show off, that kind of thing. That is small-mindedness. That is super small-mindedness. What you have to do when resources come in, the first thing you have to do, there are 2 things that you need to use resources for, right? After taking care of the basic necessities that you have, that you need, right? So food, clothing, and shelter. If you have your parents covering that for you, or you are blessed to have somebody who takes care of that for you, and resources come into your hands, then wow, you are really blessed. So what you need to do after you've covered the basis is to invest in yourself. That's number 1. Investing in yourself is so critical. As I sit here, I can count that aside my formal education, right, the cost of my formal education, I certainly have invested literally tens of thousands of dollars in my personal development. Sometimes it scares me to even check, but I've invested tens. I would say in a typical year, I probably spend a minimum $5,000 educating myself. A minimum. Right? And sometimes it's not like I have the money down there. Sometimes it's like that pull to get better, that pull to push myself to the next level, that pull that I don't want to stay a mediocre, that pull that I'm yearning for knowledge. Right? I'm yearning. So I want to know more. I want to learn more. It's like a sponge that you put in water, just that's sucking the water out like that. So the first thing is invest in yourself. If you invest in yourself, it's not taxable. I mean, the taxman cannot come and say, hey, Isaac, let me tax your brain because you've got new information in that brain. No way, right? It's the greatest investment you can ever make. Invest in courses, seminars, books. Till this day, except maybe I have an emergency or something, I typically read a book a week. And I've been doing this for probably close to 10 years, right? And buying a book is the easiest way I spend my money. I don't even think about it. If I find a book and it's awesome, and I don't even look at the price. I just press the button, and thank God for Amazon Kindle. I just order it straight. I invest in myself heavily. So invest in yourself. Spend money on yourself, not on bling, not on things, not on buying cars to show off and blowing the money to show off to your. Very soon you'll be poor, man. If you do that, you will be poor very, very soon because money wants to be respected. Number 2, after you've invested in yourself, and let's say you have something going, maybe you have some small business going or some small startup going, and it's proving to gain some traction. Invest money in the business. So you invest in yourself, invest money in your business or in your venture. Invest money to market. You can have the greatest product on earth, but if it's not marketed, nobody will buy it. Nobody will know it, right? Invest money in your project, marketing, staff. Maybe you need additional hands. These are great places to spend money, and very soon, that money that you invested in yourself and in other ventures will start working for you. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and feel free to subscribe to this channel so that anytime I publish any video like this, you will be notified. All right, see you soon. And then there's other videos that are going to pop up on this screen that you can also watch. That will be a blessing to you. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye now.